Hey guys, it's Penguin here, and welcome back to another goal making video. Today, we're going to be discussing craftable mounts that are in the game, and we're going to be going over about 12 of them, which is all the craftable mounts inside of World of Warcraft, and exactly how to get them, how long it takes to get them, and how profitable they are. Now, all the mounts that I am talking about today have been added to my crafted transmog spreadsheet. I have added mounts as a section to the profession because I don't want it to get mixed up with all of the crafted transmods, so I've added it onto a separate category. And then, of course, you can change the expansion to see each different mount for each expansion. And as you can see, it will list the name of the mount, exactly the profession you need, as well as the level of profession and how to get the recipe, and of course, an estimated time to actually get and craft this mount. So the first thing we're going to be talking about is tailoring. So let's open up tailoring and I will walk you through this one. Now, the one we're going to be talking about is very easy. It is strictly just from Wrath of the Lich King. All you need is level 1 tailoring inside of Northrend, and you are going to be able to unlock the flying carpet. Keep in mind, there are multiple flying carpets in the game. As you can see, there's actually 3 of them. However, 2 of them are banned on account, so we're only going to be talking about the one that is actually tradable and postable on the auction house. So because of that, it is actually the easiest flying carpet mount to get. Like I said, all it requires is to get level 1 Northrend tailoring, so just go to Old Dalaran, learn tailoring, and there you have it. Learn the recipe, and you're good to go. As you can see, it is very cheap to make. Thread as well as the dye are both vendor materials. Then we have spider silk, which is about $1 a piece on my realm. Then we have the bolt of the enchanted frostweave, and we can actually just craft these. I know it says it's listed for 100 gold, but as you can see, TSM actually says it's worth about 30 gold. So if we look at the overall actual flying carpet, as you can see, it cost a crafting cost at about 200 gold, and on my server, I'm selling these for about 2,000. Now, keep in mind that it fluctuates a ton. As you can see, my lowest minimum sold value is 285, while my highest sold value is about 1,500. So actually, 2,000 is very good right now, and it is definitely a price where I should be crafting these and selling these. Now, currently, I do not have any more in stock. However, as you can see, I have actually sold 26 of them, and I haven't stocked them up in about a month. However, for me personally, they have a 0.2 sell rate, which is very good. Now, as you can see, the region sell rate is about 0.13, which is still really nice for a mount. And once again, you can also see the average daily sold. But this is super cheap to make. All you need is level 1 tailoring. All you need to do is pick up this recipe, and it's cost about 200 gold to craft it. And even if it sells for 500 gold, you're still making about 200 gold profit, and it's definitely worth to just throw on the auction house. So that is basically it for tailoring, and now we're going to be moving on to another profession. Now, the second thing we're going to be looking at is the Jeweled Panther mounts from Mist of Pandaria, and you need Jewelcrafting to create these. So what we are looking at is if we type in Panther, there are 5 mounts. However, I have listed them just under Panthers on the spreadsheet, and that's strictly because you get them all the same way. So to actually get these mounts, you will need Exalted with the Order of the Cloud Serpents. Now, this is a Pandarian reputation, which if you look right here, it is the Order of the Cloud Serpents, and you need Exalted. Now, some of these recipes you can get at Honored, Revered. However, to get all of them, you will need Exalted with this faction. Now, there are 2 ways to go about this. Basically, you just want to make your way to the Jade Forest, and then right here, you will be able to start the daily quest for the Cloud Serpents. Now, you can go for the route where you just want to complete the dailies every single day, and slowly you will gain the reputation. However, you also have the opportunity to farm eggs on the Windward Isle, and these eggs can be turned in for reputation themselves. Now, keep in mind, to actually collect these eggs, you'll be able to find them. However, to actually collect them, you do need to complete the intro quest to the actual Order of the Cloud Serpents in order to actually pick up these eggs. But once you complete that, you can go around this area right here. You can pick up the eggs, and there are plenty of locations. If not, I will try to post a picture on screen of some of the locations. However, if I cannot find a good screenshot of it, then definitely just look up Windward Isle eggs, and you'll find plenty of walkthroughs on actually how to collect these. The good thing is that now we have a lot of zoning because we have war mode on, we also have war mode off, and we have chromie time. That means that there are plenty of instances, so you can switch between war mode on, war mode off, you can change in chromie time if you are below that level 50 mark, and because of that, you can make sure that you are the only one farming there. So if you see somebody farming on war mode on, go ahead, turn it off, see if they're gone, etc. Also, if you're the only one farming, once you pick up all the eggs in war mode off, go ahead, go turn it on, and you can pick up some more. So probably in 1 to 2 hours, you will be able to be exalted and get these recipes. Now, with that being said, these recipes are a little bit special because they do have a very high cost vendor item. Now, the item that all of these need besides the jeweled onyx is that you need an orb of mystery. And currently these orbs of mystery go for 20k from the vendor inside of Veil of Eternal Blossom. Now, you cannot get around this. Goblins do not have any rep discounts. Also, there is no rep discounts just in general, so you do have to spend 20k. Now, because of that, on a lot of servers, Panthers become not that profitable because of the fact that people price them very, very cheap. However, I am lucky in the terms of that these Panthers go for anywhere between 40 to 50k, so I can make profit off of them. The other items we need are the living steel, which you can either buy or craft yourself if you have an alchemist, and then also the rare gem that matches the color of the panther. Now, yes, these do look really expensive. However, if you have an alchemist, you can turn the standard common gems plus a golden lotus into the rare gems, and it saves you about 200 gold. Currently, if I were to combine just the normal common yellow gem with a golden lotus, my crafting cost will be about 92 gold instead of 300 if I were to just buy these off the auction house. So that can also help you cut down prices a ton. Then lastly, we have Serpent's Eyes, which currently says they're posted for 1,000, but that is not true at all. As you can see, my average buy price is about 35 gold. However, if you do prospecting, either Capyrite or Ghost Iron ore, you will get a ton of these, and they are very, very cheap, or normally around the 100 gold mark. But that is basically it for jewelry crafting. We only have these 5 panthers, and of course this one right here, you do need to craft all of the 4 basic panthers to craft this one. If we want to look at profits, the Jade Panther makes about 11k, the Onyx Panther makes about 42k, the Ruby makes about 25k, the Sapphire makes only about 3k, and then the Sunstone makes about 10k on my personal server. But of course, you need to check yours to make sure it is profitable and worth getting. Now we are moving on to Alchemy, and currently there is one mount which is very popular in Alchemy, which we're going to be talking about. Now this is the Vial of the Sands, and it does require max Cataclysm Alchemy as well as Archaeology in order to get this mount. Now the reason why this mount is so special, it is because it is a flying 2-seater mount that you can actually craft and buy in game. Now I know there are a few other 2-seater flying mounts, however they are very, very expensive or not even obtainable, like the Obsidian Nightwing that was from Recruit a Friend a few years back. But that is why this is so popular, due to the fact that you can have a friend riding on your back whenever you're flying them around. To actually get this recipe, it is very unique as well, because not only does it require max Kata Alchemy, it also requires Archaeology. Now to actually get this, there are plenty of ways to do so. You can actually go farm artifacts inside of Uldum or any Cataclysm zone and do it that way. However, the fastest way so far is actually to do it through Pandaria. So the way to do that is you will want to level up your Archaeology to 525 by just completing different dig sites, etc. Then you want to become exalted with the lore walkers inside of Pandaria. Now to do this, you just run around the map, pick up a few scrolls, and it probably will take an hour for you to get exalted. There are plenty of guides out there. Then after that, you will be able to actually turn in the restored artifacts that you get from completing dig sites inside of the Pandarian zones, and you'll be able to trade them for the crates of the Tolvar fragments, which is basically the Cataclysm Uldum fragments, which is what you're looking for. And from those fragments, you are hoping that you are going to create a Copic jar, and then from that jar you are hoping that you get a recipe. So there is plenty of steps to do this. There's also tons of RNG involved, because not only are you hoping for a jar, you're also hoping for that said jar to actually have the recipe. So I've known many people who have farmed this thing for over 200 hours and still has not received the recipe, and I also know plenty people, as well as myself, who actually got it first try. So definitely going to be something, it's high RNG, however, it is 100% worth it once you do so. Now, with that being said, it does require vendor materials as well. It costs anywhere between like 25 to 30k cost of vendor materials, and then you have these other potions as well as the true gold that you need. But currently, my server price is quite inflated, but normally I sell these for about 55 gold a piece. Sorry, I sell these for about 55k a piece, and my crafting cost is normally about 40-ish, so I'm making anywhere between 15 to 20k profit-ish every time I craft one of these. Now, these do fly off the shelf like crazy, and as you can see right now, they're very inflated, so they're probably not going to sell at this 85k price. However, I normally can make a good 15-ish k profit per vial of the sands. But this is definitely something you want to look forward to if you do have Cataclysm Alchemy, and definitely something you should be trying to collect. Now, the profession we're going to go over next is engineering. Now, engineering is the best profession to have according to mounts. Out of the 12 mounts we are talking about today, 8 of them are from engineering. So if you want to focus strictly on mounts and you can only pick one profession, you definitely want to pick up engineering, because that is going to be the best for you. Now, the first mount we're going to be talking about is the flying machine, and currently I don't really have a lot of the engineering mounts, so I will be looking at the unlearned tab. However, of course, they are very easy to get, and of course all the breakdowns are on my spreadsheet. But like I said, the first thing we'll be talking about is the flying machine, which is very similar to the flying carpet. Now, the reason for this is because it strictly just requires level 1 outland engineering. So all you have to do, go to TPC, go to Satrath City, learn outland engineering, and then you can automatically learn this recipe. Now, it is pretty cheap to make. These do require fell iron. However, if you craft them yourself, you can make some pretty good profit. And like I said, these sells for about 5 to 6k, which is very nice, and it also has a 0.1 sell rate, which is a very nice bonus. The, of course, benefit to this is that you really don't need to level engineering at all. All you have to do is quickly go learn it from the recipe trainer, and that is basically it. So getting this recipe is very easy and definitely a must-have. Now, if you want something a little bit better than the flying machine, then we have the turbocharged flying machine, which is basically from the same way as you get the first one. However, you need maxed out outland engineering. This one will require a little bit more work because you do need to max out that outland engineering, but after you do that, once again, you just learn this from the vendor, and you do not have to worry about farming a recipe or anything like that. Now, as you can see, the price is a lot more expensive. It goes anywhere between 30 to 65k, like it is on my auction house right now, and that is just because of the materials it needs. It is a little bit more expensive and everything like that. Also, keep in mind that it does have a lot lower sell rate, and that is because both of these items, as well as the flying carpet, actually require engineering to learn these, and because of that, not a lot of people are buying them because they might not have engineering to actually learn these. But some people are too lazy to craft them themselves. However, they do have the professions, which is why people are still buying. However, the sell rate is going to be quite lower due to that fact. But these two are very, very basic, and we're going to move on to another expansion. The next engineering mount we're going to be talking about is the Mechano Hog, and if you are Alliance, it actually is going to be called the Mechanized Chopper. They are the same thing, but one is Horde and one is Alliance. So since I'm Horde, it is the Mechano Hog. However, it might be called something different if you are the opposing faction. To get this, you need Max Wrath Engineering, which is pretty easy to get. It is just level 75 engineering, but you also need Exalted Reputation with either the Horde Expedition or the Alliance Vanguard. They're the same thing, but once again, they are just the faction equivalents of each other, so depending if you're Horde or Alliance, you need to get that exact rep. The rep is pretty easy to get. If you guys like to farm a Pit of Saren for the battered hilts, you already have gotten this reputation passively. However, if you guys do not want to farm that, you can also just run all of the heroic dungeons without a tabard on, and you will also get tons of reputation. Generally, this will take a few hours to get exalted. However, of course, you can look up a detailed guide to make sure you're making the most out of your time. But personally, I just ran the Pit of Sauron, and after a few hours and after me getting 2 battered hilts, I was able to learn this recipe as well. Now, generally, this is a pretty cheap mount to actually craft. It does require about 12.5k worth of vendor materials because you need to buy the pipe, the piston, as well as the parts, but everything else is generally really cheap. You need Arctic fur, which is about 90 gold a piece. You need some bars as well as cobalt bolts. Currently, as you can see, I have 2 on the auction house. I am still actively selling these, but they go for about 60k on my server, which is a 30k profit, and I craft these for about 30k gold. Now, this is a pretty high buyout price because, once again, my server is low population. However, region average is about 45k, so even at that price, I would still be making about a 15k profit, which is really nice. But with that being said, it is a pretty easy mount to farm up. You can either do it passively or you can focus on it depending on how you want to build that reputation up, and then crafting it is also very, very simple. But yeah, guys, that is it for Northrend Engineering, and we're going to be moving on to the next mount. Now from Pandaria, we have 3 mounts to look at, which is once again all from engineering, and the first one, which is probably the most well known, is the Sky Golem. Now the Sky Golem is very easy to get. All you need is maxed Pandaren engineering, so level 75, and then you just want to go kill some adds inside of the world, and then a recipe book will drop and it will teach you the Sky Golem recipe as well as the Jard's recipe. Now the interesting thing about this mount is that it does have a daily cooldown, so to actually craft this mount it takes 30 days to complete since you need 30 of these energy sources. Now with that being said, it is pretty cheap to make because all you need is ghost iron to create these. However, you are limited by the fact that it does take 30 days to craft. Despite that, you can make some pretty good profit with it. Currently, I sell these for about 62k or more depending on the time of the expansion, and currently my crafting cost, if I did not want to craft anything else by myself, then it would be costing about a 50k investment. So I'm still making about 12k if I were to just purchase everything right now. However, sometimes I buy living steel very, very cheap. As you can see, my average buy price is 700, and it's currently calculating my living steel at about 2,000. So definitely we'll be seeing more profit if I were to use it with that cheaper living steel. But this is a very easy mount, and yeah. The next thing we're going to be going over is the depleted rocket, which is once again very, very easy. It is just a vendor mount, which means all you need to do is max out your Pandaren engineering, and then you can learn this from the vendor. Now there are 2 of these. There is the rocket, like I see right here, and then there is the world spinner right here. They both require max Pandaren engineering. However, one of them requires gnomish engineering, while the other one requires goblin engineering. This one right here is the gnomish, and then this one right here requires goblin engineering. Now to get these, basically you just want to max out your engineering, and then you can go to the vendor and you can choose whether to be a goblin or to be gnomish engineering. It does not matter by the faction, so a blood elf can be a goblin or it can be gnomish, so don't worry, it is not restricted by what faction you are. However, you might need 2 engineers to make sure you can craft both of these mounts. However, they do sell really well. As you can see, the rocket goes for about 100k on my server. Keep in mind, it is a little bit expensive though. It requires 3 orbs of mystery, which is 20k times 3, so that's at least 60k. So definitely a 60k investment, so you're already making probably less than 40k profit on this. And then also with the world spinner, you need 3 orbs as well, so that's another 60k investment at the very least, and once again it's selling for a little over 100k. So definitely something to look into, make sure you can make some profit. However, it is going to be very nice if you can get both of these and just post them on the auction house, because a 100k sale is always nice whenever you can get one. Moving away from Pandaria, we have a few mounts. We have 2 of them from BFA, which once again are both engineering. And the first one we're going to be looking at is the Mogul Mark II. Now right here, this is the mount, and it currently goes for about 70, anywhere between 90k each, and it is an actual rare recipe. Now you do need level 150 BFA engineering in order to craft this. However, the recipe is a rare drop from the Motherlode dungeon. Now you have to kill the Mogul Razdunk, which is a boss inside of the Motherlode, and he has a drop chance in order to actually get this recipe. Now keep in mind, it is very RNG, and some people were reporting that they have killed the boss for over 200 times and just got the recipe or still have not gotten it. So it is definitely RNG, but once again, there's people that run it 5 times and they get the recipe on their 6th try. So RNG, you can't really expect anything. However, these are selling very well, sell for about 70k, and you do need some explosive and everything like that. However, it is pretty nice whenever you can actually craft these. Now, they do require some of these special engineering parts, so you will have to research to get some of those, but some of them are just vendor prices that you have to pick up. But like I said, it is a very nice recipe to have, and we're going to move on to the next BFA. Now, the one we're going to be talking about next is the ATV, and the special thing about this is that you need blacksmithing as well as engineering to craft this item. So it's a lot more specific in the way that you need both professions in order to actually craft this, and sometimes these sell for very, very cheap. The average sale price for NA is about 11,000 gold, and that is just because this is pretty cheap to make, but currently, because I'm on a pretty low pop server, it's going for about 45k, but that is especially inflated, and normally this thing goes about like 30k on my server. As you can see, the region sale average is about 11k and the market value is about 20k. So definitely very, very above average right now. However, it is still nice to have if you do have the recipes, or you can farm the recipes yourself. Now, the reason for this is that I'm showing it to you on the auction house is because if you look over to the all the things tab, it tells you that you need a chassis as well as an engine. And basically with those two in your inventory, you combine them together to actually make this mount. Now the engine is crafted by an engineer, and then the chassis is crafted by a blacksmith, which is why you need both professions. Now these recipes are both dropped from inside of Operation Mechagon. It is dropped by the KUJ0 guide. I don't know, it's Kujo, something like that. However, that is the boss that actually drops these items. Both of them drop from the same guy, so constantly just killing those and hoping for this recipes to drop is the best way to go about it. However, you can definitely make some profit on these if you do get the recipes and everything like that. But that basically sums up BFA, so we are going to head over to blacksmithing, and we're going to be talking about the final recipe. Now, the last thing we're going to be talking about is the Felcore Hound Harness, which is from Legion, and it requires blacksmithing, and it is actually pretty simple to get. The only requirements is that you need maxed out Legion blacksmithing, which is level 100, which is I actually only have 93. And the reason for that is because the higher level Legion crafting materials actually uses Blood of Sargeras, and if you guys aren't familiar with those, you can only get a few a day from either mission tables or from World Quest, so that kind of stunts your growth with actually crafting these. However, after a few days, you should be able to max out your Legion, and also possibly if you have a ton sitting around because you did play in Legion, then this will be a lot easier for you. But once you have maxed out blacksmithing for Legion, then you will want to go into the Nighthold and kill Tichondrius. Now, from my knowledge, people are claiming that this recipe is a 100% drop rate if you kill it on a blacksmith. I got it as a 100% drop rate, so I'm assuming that is correct. However, please, it might be just a very, very high drop rate, so I am sorry if you do not get it first try. However, you should be able to. Now, as you can see, I actually have the recipe myself because you do not need max blacksmithing for this to drop. You just need level 1 Legion blacksmithing to actually get this to drop. So I do have it for the time that I reach max level. However, for now, it's just sitting in my inventory. Now, currently on the auction house, this sells for about 36k, which is pretty nice because it's pretty cheap to actually craft. The only downside is that you do need 50 bloods, which is basically your threshold, and it holds everybody back. Like I said before, bloods you can only really get during invasions, world questing, and then also with resources or the mission tables. Because of that, you are kind of limited for how many you get per day, so it does take a little bit to actually get 50. From the people that I've talked to, it takes about a week to a week and a half to actually get all of the bloods, depending on how frequent you are actually farming them, but a week and making 36k would be pretty nice if you're only completing a few world quests per day. Definitely a nice hustle and definitely can make you some gold. Besides that, the Demon Steel bars currently cost me about 75 gold to create, and as you level up your actual profession, you will have a ton of Demon Steel left over, so definitely is very cheap. And then you have the brimstones, which once again are very, very cheap, going for about 30 gold. And then you have the fellhide, which goes for about 100 to 200 gold. Crafting cost is pretty low on this one, and you're selling it anywhere between 30 to 40k, which is a big bonus. But yeah, guys, that is basically it. That is the 12 mounts that I wanted to show off to you guys. A lot of people, specifically somebody in the Discord, has been asking about a overall mount guide, and hopefully this was the video that they were looking for, and hopefully it does help them and all of you as well. Once again, keep in mind that these are old world mounts, and some of them do require other professions, which means that not everybody is going to be buying one every single day. However, if you combine these with your normal Shadowlands crafting, or any of your old world crafting, enchants, etc., this will definitely add to those daily sales. Because yes, you might not sell a flying carpet every single day. However, if you sell one once a week, that's 2k more gold than you were receiving before. Once again, with the Sky Golem, yes, you can only craft one once a month. However, that is 40k more than what you would be getting last month just for doing literally 5 seconds every single day of completing that one daily cooldown. So definitely very worth getting these recipes if you are a collector, or if you're just a gold maker. Very, very worth it. I am still working on the engineering mounts, but they are very, very worth it. But with that being said, guys, I just want to say thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you check out my Twitch down below. I am live streaming 4 days a week. Also, be sure to join the Discord. We are over 1,000 members, which is insane. We're also nearing 5,000 subscribers. So if you guys want to be a part of that celebration, make sure you join the Discord to get notified as soon as possible, and maybe there'll be some giveaways going along with it. But with that being said, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to support me in a monetary way, be sure to check out the Patreon. It is always there for support. Of course, it is not required at all. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching, and have a good day.